Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about I feel is so important, and that is how to market yourself and how to market yourself in a way to attract clients to you in your chair. You know, what prompts me to do this episode today is just some posts that I'm reading, and you guys will hear me say that a lot on my episodes because I really stay in tune to what you guys are talking about in groups, the things you're asking, questions that are being asked in my classes, and getting clients and building a clientele. Guys, it's the number one question I get asked all the time. Do you want a full chair with a steady flow of clients and more confidence behind the chair, but you struggle with slow books, inconsistent income, and feeling stuck or discouraged? If so, my friend, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Sherry Brody, hairstylist, educator, and mentor behind the chair. After rebuilding my business multiple times, I've learned how to own my chair like a business, creating clarity, confidence, and consistency without the feeling of burnout. So grab your shears, step behind the chair with me, and let's build that business you've been dreaming of. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to share with you a beautiful review that came in that I am just totally humbled by. It says, this podcast hits home, not just for hairstylists, but for anyone who is a business owner who cares about their clientele. Sherry shares her life experiences in an honest, unpretentious way, and it is evident from the first minute how much she cares not only about the industry, but how deeply she cares about people. Both her clients and the hairstylist she has been called a mentor. I can't wait to listen to the next episode. Thank you, Pablo, for that beautiful review. Totally humbles my heart to read this because it just hits home, because this is exactly why I started this podcast. So if you are a listener to this podcast and you're enjoying it, please leave me a review and let me know. I personally read each and every one of them. But most importantly, when you subscribe and review, it helps the mission of this podcast get out into the ears of those that I'm trying to help, which is hairstylists and business owners in this industry. So thank you, Pablo, for that beautiful review. And let's get into this episode. You know, here are some questions that, you know, maybe you've been asking yourself. Maybe these will resonate with you. These are just questions that I've heard over the years and just most recently a lot. How do you get clients booked in your chair? I advertise on Facebook groups. I've tried Groupon. See, I'm really struggling with trying to build a clientele. A full clientele and a good clientele. That's a big one. And that's one of the subjects that really I want to hone in as well on this episode today. Because I not only want to help you really get some great ideas, some new ideas that maybe you haven't thought of on how to market yourself, how to stand out in the sea of so many hairstylists. This is really why I'm doing this podcast, is because I see a lot of people say that they just feel like giving up because they're stressed about, you know, money. That's a big deal. I mean, when you're your own business owner, which you are as a hairstylist, what you do behind the chair, you know, that's the money you bring in. So you've really got to take marketing yourself very, very seriously. And I don't say that because I think you haven't. I think that when you're going through school and you're building, you see on social media so many hairstylists posting beautiful befores and afters. And you know, I'll go through social media and look. And one of the things that I notice is that I see beautiful hair, guys, but so many of the social media, like your guys' handles, they all look alike. So, you know, the first thing you've got to think about, like when you are building yourself, what makes me different than Sue next door? Why would somebody want to book with me instead of her? And second of all, who do I want to work on? That's a huge one. when you think about clients in your chair, when you're in the fight or flight mode where you're freaking out about finances, you're not in control. You're just taking whatever comes your way. And sometimes in the beginning, yeah, okay, we got to take what comes in the chair. But you don't want to do that for long because it's a recipe for burnout, because it's very difficult, guys, when we're working on somebody that we don't jive with. You know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes a client can sit in your chair and you guys just, you click right away. You're like, yeah, this is my person. I enjoy doing her. She enjoys the service I'm offering. That's great. It feels good. And those are the kind of clients you want. But then there's those clients that sit in your chair and you're just like, oh my God, I can't wait till I'm done with this client and get her out of my chair, right? And those are the clients that if you don't take control and really start thinking about your marketing and how you're marketing and to who you're marketing to, you just are going to start filling your chair with clients that you don't enjoy. And in turn, they're going to feel it. And you're going to always kind of be having to build your clientele over time because the clients aren't going to be long-term. So the target of this episode really is to share with you things that I have done in my career. As you all know, if you've been listening to a few of these podcasts, this girl, I've had to rebuild my business numerous times. So when I'm talking to you about fight or flight, freaking out, taking whatever you can, guys, I've been there and I've done it. But I got the coaching necessary and I learned from people that inspired me, and I learned how to build a clientele that would last me the long term and one that I enjoy. It doesn't lead to burnout. So, when I first moved to Phoenix, if you guys have been listening, I relocated after 27 years in the Bay Area. I relocated to Arizona and I had to rebuild my business from ground zero. And it was kind of weird because I would go back to the Bay Area every 4 to 5 weeks and I would work a chair for 5 days. And honestly, what I did in those 5 days for the first 6 months, that paid for all my bills. But I would go from this place of being, people know me and I have full books to coming back to empty chair. And it was really a time in my life where it was messing with my psyche. Like I really was starting to lose some confidence in myself. But God really blessed me with a friend that really encouraged me. She'd had a business of her own and she said, Sherry, you gotta get out there and start doing something different. And she talked me into videotaping. She says, when you do hair, you teach so much. She goes, that's what you need to do. And she made me get in front of a camera. And I remember the first time we got in front of the camera, I think it took us, 20 or 30 takes before I really started getting into it. Because honestly, I was all up in my head. I was like, gosh, I look awful. I would look at my face. I was focusing on me. I was focusing on what I looked like. I was focusing on what I said. When she looked at me and she said, Sherry, stop worrying about yourself. Start thinking about who you want to help. So that's the mindset I got into. And that's that day. Gosh, I don't even know what it was I taught on. I think I taught a lesson on how to control your calyx, because that was something that my clients had a lot of issues with, the calyx, the crown. So I did that. And it just kind of developed from there. And each time I did it, it got a little bit easier till it was no big deal to be in front of a camera and to be teaching something. And what's crazy, you guys, is that these videos, I created a YouTube channel with them. You can find it. It's Hair by Sherry, SHERRIAZ. You can even find the videos on my website, hairbysherryaz.com. It's just my website that I keep up for my clients behind the chair. But I still get clients to this day that found me on YouTube. I haven't posted anything on that in probably, 10 years. But guys, I still get phone calls from that. Still. And I have them posted on my website, and my clients still comment on it, and I still refer them to it as well. And my point to this whole story is that a lot of times the reason we're not really getting the clients in our chair and building like we want is because we're afraid. We're afraid. We're afraid to get in front of a camera because we're afraid we're going to say the wrong thing, or we're going to embarrass ourselves, or say something dumb, or, maybe we don't like how we look. I know a lot of us have that. And we compare ourselves. Is that you? Because I know I'm a big one. I would compare myself. In the beginning, I would compare myself all the time. I mean, I think you grow up doing that, right? And social media is awful about that. And those are the biggest things that keep you from doing what you need to do on social media. But it's also fear of, you guys have a fear of, I shouldn't say all you guys, but it's something that I notice because we are so used to being attached to our phones and texting and communicating through texting or emailing that we all of a sudden, when we think about communicating in person, it can be very intimidating and it's a fearful thing. And it may sound silly to you, but it's not. It's a big deal. You gotta be able to communicate in person to be successful in this industry, but also to market yourself. Because guys, I'm here to tell you right now, social media, yes, it's huge. When somebody is going to look for somebody to do their hair, they're going to check out your social media for sure. But what are they checking out your social media for? It's not just about beautiful work, guys. They want to know who you are, what you offer. Why would they want to go see you instead of Sue next door? And it's your job to show that. So I want to share with you 3 types of marketing that stylists pretty much ignore, and why. I want to share with you why it matters. Some of it, you guys may think, it's archaic. She's been doing this too long. There's just some things, guys, it doesn't matter. It's never going to change. And yes, social media is huge, but in person, that's never going to change. You've always got to learn how to be able to communicate to your clients in person as well. So let's get started. The first one is just what I talked about in my story. Guys, I like to call this education-based marketing. Now, this one I feel is one of the biggest things for you, because one of the things that you want to do is you want to build trust without somebody even meeting you. You want to build authority, and teaching somebody something that builds authority. It shows you as a professional, and it builds trust in you. When they're going through your social media, say you've got some beautiful work, and then all of a sudden there's one of you, and you're talking about a problem that this person has. Let's say this problem is she has no idea she's having a hard time getting her hair to look really smooth. And it's something that you really are great at. So she comes across your feed and she sees a look, oh gosh, I wish my hair would look like that. Then she sees a post and you're teaching how you achieve it. What? That's different. Not only that, she kind of likes the way you talk, your personality, and she likes the way you look. So when you are going to post on social media and talk, make sure you look the part. And, if you are somebody, like for me, for instance, when I was building, I wanted the client that she was a high-end businesswoman, or she was somebody that she loved trend. She loved great haircuts. She wanted a beautiful haircut. She would pay whatever, and she wanted good, trendy haircuts. And she wanted to go to somebody that really knew how to cut hair and knew that was very confident in their work. Now, because I knew my target market, I knew exactly what to post. I would post, haircuts befores and afters of the work I was doing. I would explain how to style those, the products that are really great for them, different ways to style them. I would talk about haircuts that are trending right now. Just things that build authority and let them know that I know my stuff. And another thing is they want to get to know you as a person. So then I would post things about little things that were going on in my life. Nothing like, I am one of those people that I don't like to share everything that's going on in my life. But people want to know, like I have a dog. I would talk about my dog and, that I am married and, some of the things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy swimming and yoga and walking and music, things like that. Just things that I know are about me. And I'll do videos where I'm talking about something, maybe a motivational thing or something that is going to help them in their styling or whatever. But what I'm trying to get through here is they want to know your personality. So before they even give you a call, they feel like, wow, okay, she is doing the work I want. I can tell that she knows her stuff. And I love what she's teaching. I tried it and it worked. So they already trust me and they've gotten to know a little bit about my personality. So then, that opens the door. They already feel like they know me. So do you understand what I'm saying here? Like you got to build the authority so they know that you are professional. You want to build trust in them. And that's through teaching them something. And, and that's when they're going to maybe take that chance and go, you know what? I'm going to give her a call. Some other things that you can teach, if you're a colorist or something like that, a suggestion would be helping them figure out what kind of hair color that, how to communicate with your stylist, what kind of color you want, or showing a picture and breaking it down to a client. Like if you were doing a consultation with a client, when a client shows you a picture of something, like for instance, yesterday I had a client show me a picture of it was a beautiful short haircut, but it was kind of almost like a stacked bob, but it had a lot of texture and movement. And the model in the picture, I could tell just by looking at it, she had a lot of beautiful dimensional color highlights and she had a finer texture. And of course, it had been, styled to the nines. So this client that's sitting in my chair, she's a lot older than the model. She has extremely thick hair, a totally different texture, and her hair color is dark. So when I'm consulting with her, I'm explaining to her and breaking down the haircut. I'm breaking down what she's seeing. I'm breaking down, this probably looks fuller to you because of the color, explaining why that looks a certain way. And, when you take the time to do that, that's another way to build confidence with your clients or confidence in people so that they can become your clients. Okay. So those are just some ways to start building authority and standing out on social media. Guys, it's not just posting befores and afters. You have to stand out and make sure that you have a clear bio, that you have a booking app that they can just go to and book because clients want to book. You guys, you think about yourself. Let's see, I broke a wine glass, my favorite wine glass yesterday. I was so mad and so sad, but it was like, we're down to one because I like the stemless ones. So what do? I just went on Amazon and I found some I liked and I ordered it because why? I wanted it now. It's the same way with clients. All right, guys. And I just want to say something to you right here. So many times we as hairstylists, we rebel on selling retail or whatever because we say we're not salespeople. Well, you are a salesperson. And when you're on social media and you're posting, you're selling yourself, guys. Just wanted to point that out. So it's kind of a parallel there now that I think about it, because I was thinking about that. When you think about retail, like for me, I sell a lot of retail. Most of the time, my retail pays for most of my rent. And the reason I sell retail and my clients don't question, I'm going to go on Amazon. Why? First of all, I've got it there. But second of all, because I teach them how to use it. I teach them. I want my clients to walk out of my chair and I want them to be able to style their hair. I want them the way I did It's not a compliment to me when a client comes in and says, I can never style my hair like you do. That tells me I'm missing it. I'm missing something. I need to up my game on teaching them. And that's what I'm saying. So when I'm teaching them about the product, 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy at least one of those products. Why? Because they want to make it look as good as you did. So it doesn't feel like sleazy selling. You're just teaching. So I'm just trying to relate that to you as far as when you're on social media. You are selling yourselves, guys. Don't think it's not, but you are. All right. And the next one is relationship marketing. And this is the one that I feel probably is the most scariest for some people because like when you start to think to yourself, well, oh my gosh, well, what do I say? And how do I go up to a person and tell them about my business? What if they reject me? What if they ignore me? Actually, first off, I'm just going to tell you, who cares? Right? Who cares? I mean, I know we all get up in our head and we think the worst of the worst. But in reality, guys, when it comes to talking to somebody in person about what you do, it makes more of an impact than social media because you're right there in person. You can talk to them. They feel your energy. They get a feel for who you are. And you're face to face looking at each other. So some examples of what you can do, like when I was building my business, and each time I was building my business, I had to go out there and promote myself. Early on, when I started in the industry, I worked at a hair salon. I remember she did absolutely zero advertising, and we weren't allowed to sit around and wait. If we weren't busy, it was our job to go out there and find clients. And that was one of the things I did in the salon too. When my apprentice programs, they had to go out and get models to get in their chair for the education nights and their education days. And it would be the scariest thing. And I remember being so scared. Like I would see somebody, I'd be like, oh, what am I going to say? My heart would start beating and my armpits would start sweating. And I'd be like, oh, what am I going to say? But I just would step over that insecurity and fear and just boldly walk up and say, hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but I noticed you across the room and I love your hair. And I happen to be a hairstylist and I always notice people's hair, and do you have a regular hairstylist? And sometimes they're going to say, well, yeah, I do, or maybe not, or whatever. And say, well, you know what? I'd love to have the opportunity to do your hair. Here's my card. And I always put complimentary haircut on there. And I'd say, you know what? If you're wanting a haircut, I would love to give you a complimentary haircut because I know you'll love it. And I would just love the opportunity to do your hair. So, and if you have anybody that has hair similar to yours and you already have a hairstylist, would you mind giving this to them? I would really love it. It's that simple. And the first time you do it, yes, you're going to be scared. But after you get it done the first time, it's like the second, you're just like, oh, I did it. It's like anytime you step over that fear and that uncomfortableness and you get on the other side and you do it and you realize, God, that wasn't so bad. Because honestly, guys, they're not going to be mean to you. Some people may say, oh no, I like my hairstylist, never mind. And you've got to be in tune to that because some people are just going to be like, nope. They're just totally shut off and they say, okay, well, have a good day. And, whatever, make a compliment and walk away and then find another person. And eventually you're going to get somebody that is going to take you up on it. Now, for me, it was haircutting because I wasn't busy to begin with. I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to get my work out there. I needed to get things locally on social. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. I did a haircut. I was just giving my time and I'd get him in my chair and I would give him the best haircut, the best experience, a consultation, down to the most amazing toe curling shampoo, educated him on their styling. And then at the end, I would ask him for reviews. I would share about the products, see if they want any products. Sometimes, you guys, it's crazy. They'd buy products because they got a great haircut and they were thrilled with it. So they'd buy the products I used on them. So what happened there? I made some money on a day that I really wasn't going to make any money. And then I'd always ask them to rebook. Hey, so if you really love this style, you plan on coming to see me, you want to maintain it, you want to come back between 4 to 6 weeks, you want to say either 4, 5, or 6, one or the other, and give them a date. Say, hey, that looks like December 10th. I have this time available or that time available. Would you, and which one would work for you? And sometimes they'll say, oh, I'll wait. Okay. Now, when they're in your chair, you want to make sure that you put their name, their number, their address, and their email. And why do I say an address? Because how cool is it to send them a thank you card? Thank you for taking the time, taking me up on my offer. I really enjoyed doing your hair. I hope you like it. If there's something that I can do, if that, can make it even better, please let me know. Here's 3 cards. If you were happy with the service, would you kindly share my information with somebody? And hey, if 3 people come in with this card and the next, you could say 2 weeks, next month, whatever, then I would like to, I will keep track of it and I'll give you your next haircut on the house just for helping me build. Guys, it's that simple. And another thing is 3 days after they're in your chair, you call them and you say, hey, just wanted to call and see how your haircut's doing. Wow. That's going to go miles. And guys, if they weren't happy with it and you can kind of tell, ask them, say, would you, I understand and that's fine, but I'm trying to be better. I'm really trying to grow my business. Would you mind if I sent you a short survey at your email? Would you fill it out for me so that I can work on the things I need to work on? It's that simple. I mean, it sounds simple to me, guys, because I've been doing it for so long. But the reason I'm sharing it with you is because you don't have to just be in a fight or flight. You've got to take control of your business. You have to overcome your insecurities and your fears in order to get your business to start growing. That's it, period, in a nutshell. And the next tip that I want to share with you on this episode is you've got to get more visibility locally in your area, right near your salon. So one of them is, yes, Facebook groups. Make sure you're in the Facebook group. And I see a lot of you are doing that. But what are you posting in the group? Here again, it goes back to educating and building authority and making you stand out in that sea of hairstylists. Why would they choose you? And you want to be, when you really think about, guys, when you're thinking about, remember this, and we'll do an episode in detail about this on really thinking about who you want to work on, how to get in their head, but really be thinking about thinking about a client that you really enjoyed working on. Think about her when you are posting. Just think about her. What does she want to learn? What would she like to see? And that's what you need to start putting in those groups and start conversations and asking people to reach out to you if they have a question about something. And then join a networking group. Huge. That was a big one for me, especially when I moved here to Phoenix. I joined the local chamber and I got on meetups. That's an app you find online. And it took me about 2 or 3 meetups before I found one that really resonated with me. If you have time, you could get involved in like 2 or 3. I had 2 going at a time. And the benefit of this is that you all are trying to build businesses. So when you're involved in a networking group, those people in that group, they're going to want to support you. And then in turn, you're going to support them. So you've got them helping and referring and trying, helping get you out there. And you are also in return helping them. And each time you get together, you get a chance to speak about your business. So you kind of call this an elevator speech. And oh gosh, every time, I don't care how many times I do it, when it would come to my time, I still get sweaty armpits, but you just want to come up with something that shares about who you are and what makes you different. Like I would say, hi, I'm Sherry Brody. I'm a hairstylist and gosh, I am so passionate about hair cutting and educating my clients on how to style their hair. One of the things is I never want a client to say, I can never style my hair like you. That's not something that I want. I really like to educate my clients and give a service that will, be memorable. something like that, that's just off the cuff. But you want to come up with something that kind of rolls off your tongue, but like talks about you and your business, because you go around the room and you each say something about your business. So you get in front of not just one, you get in front of everybody there. And one of the things that it does help you with is overcoming that fear of talking to people, because guys, you just got to get over that. If you want to build, especially if you're like me, when I was a single mom, I didn't have time to sit and wait for walk-ins. I didn't have anybody helping me financially. It was up to me. And I couldn't sit in fear and insecurity. So I encourage you to do that. Okay, so we got to wrap this episode up. But before we do, I want to go over what we talked about. And that is stand out on social media, get in front of the camera, show yourself as the pro that you are, and start attracting that clients that you want. Get out there and hustle and go find clients to get in your chair and get out there in the world. Start networking in networking groups. Also, I just now remembered, I forgot one key thing is to network with the people around you too, the businesses. So, go to other businesses where if you promote their business, they'll promote you. And there was a salon that I was in, there was a skincare place. They did all kinds of injections and things. And so we would do some of their staff. We had days where we would do them complimentary so they could get a feel for our business. And they became clients, but they got a feel for who we were. So they were able to talk about us to their clients. And then in return, they did the same for us. So then we were referring. So you see what I'm saying? Like doing things like that. And the other thing I did forget to mention is also, high schools, things like that have baskets for raffles, do that. And one of the things too is volunteer at the schools. I did in theater, doing the hair for theater. And it was a way to get out there in front of, the moms and stuff and them getting to know me. I brought people in like that. And also those local colleges, you can go there and drop off your cards and offer a certain day that you have a special for the college students, something like that. I just wanted to give you other ideas. But I want you to think about, what are you avoiding most? And I want you to choose one of those things, just one of them that makes you the most uncomfortable. And I want you to do it this week. And I would love for you to post it and tag me on social media. Or if you don't want to actually post it, I'd love for you to message me on social media at On Point Hair by Sherry, SHERRI. And also, guys, I just want to say one last thing as I'm wrapping up is that, guys, growth doesn't come from comfort. It just doesn't. You have to get out of your comfort zone and get out there, guys, and hustle to get them in. And start doing it before you feel like you're ready. Key thing. I wasn't ready to get in front of that camera, but I did it. And each time I did it, I got more comfortable with it. But what happened is I started enjoying it. And that's the fun part of it. So I just want to encourage you guys. I hope this episode, I pray this episode just, gosh, gives you some hope inside. If you're that stylist that is just thinking about quitting, or you're just so just at that place of frustrated and scared, don't be scared. Get into action. Do some of the things that I've taught you. And hey, if you just are like, gosh, I wish I could talk to her. I wish I could tell her all about where I'm at. And maybe she could help me, at least give me a plan of how to get going and help me get started on this so that I can start getting clients in my chair with confidence and understanding. If that's you, I offer coaching, one-on-one coaching. I call it Fill Your Chair Strategy. And when we go through the coaching, I go through with you. I learn about you and I give you a plan to get you going and give you clarity how to get started and how to get out there and start getting clients in your chair. And if that's you, then head over to On Point Hair by Sherry /call and book a call. And if you're unsure, book there's an offer for a 15-minute free call so that you can talk and see if it's a fit. But anyhow, guys, this is a wrap. Thank you for listening. I hope it has blessed you. And happy haircutting. And remember, your work isn't about you guys. It's about how you make your clients feel. Hey, friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If it helped you, I'd love for you to hit subscribe and leave a quick review and share what stood out most for you today. When you leave a review, it helps other stylists find this show. And hey, if you want to hang out with me more and learn alongside other like-minded stylists who are working on building their clientele as well, I have a free Facebook group I just started. You'll find the link in the show notes below. I'd love to have you there and hang out with you. I'll be back next week. Until then, happy haircutting, and remember, your chair is your business, so own it like a pro.